And we are live. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday afternoon. It's Beth Weinstein here with my friend Jenna Graziani. Hey, Jenna.
Hey, Beth. How's it going?
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, I love doing this type of stuff. And our interview the other day was so fun, so
Yeah.
I couldn't say no.
It's amazing. Yeah, no, I apologize to everybody if you can hear me. I'm echoing. Everybody knows I do these sometimes from my WeWork co-working space, and with WeWork, sometimes you just get whatever's available. But no, Jenna is, as she's mentioned, we did an interview recently. Mine went live, I think it was yesterday or today. I can't even keep up with the days, but it's still going. Mm-hmm. It's onlinebizsuccessformula.com. And it's an online summit where you get to learn how to set up your business for maximum success so you can easily get work done, make more money, and do what you love. And I love that Jenna did this because I got to discuss my efficiency hacks that I love so much. But Jenna, tell people a little bit more about what you do and why you created this new online, I keep calling it a masterclass because to me it's all about learning.
Yeah, it is. I help business owners save time so they can stress less and ultimately do what they love. And that looks different depending on the person. And I help people come up with the ways that they can use their strengths and then kind of outsource the rest or give it up almost. And of course I love to say like, oh, hire a VA or hire me or whatever. But sometimes it's honestly like hire a housekeeper. So it's just that help them get that clarity piece of what's missing and what should I do instead. And a lot of it has to do with personality, and a lot of it has to do with hiring the right team members, because sometimes we know we need a team member, but we're not really sure who or what we really need. And so I kind of help business owners get from this place of overwhelm to peace of mind.
I love it. You know what? You actually said something super important about hiring a housekeeper, because one of my really successful entrepreneur friends many years ago told me, it's like we all know this, but it's so hard to remember. Time is money. And yeah, if you're spending a few hours cleaning your house when you could actually be growing your business, like it's better investment to hire someone to clean your house. So
yeah, exactly. It's like time is our only non-renewable resource. And I've heard that so many times. And so many of my experts on the series said something like that or similar. And it's true. You can't get back the time that you've spent doing other things.
Exactly.
So it's like, you can always make more money. You can always like do anything else again, but time, it just goes away. It never comes back.
Yeah, no, totally. That was my next question. I was going to ask, so what do you find some of the most common, suggestions and tips, and I call them hacks, that your experts said about, making their online business super successful? Like, was it hire a house cleaner or?
So one of the biggest things actually was to just know how to spend your time, and like know how you are currently spending your time. And then that will help you kind of figure out what to do next. And the example that was used a couple of times was, when you are starting a diet, one of the first things you do is you track what you're currently eating. So even if you're not starting the diet yet, you are writing down like, 12:30 p.m. ate a cookie. And you're like, oh, crap, I shouldn't have had a cookie. Yeah. And so then you kind of start to already change your behavior without even having to make any like huge change, because you just realize, wow, I just spent so much time doing this stupid thing. And so that was like a starting point that a lot of the experts gave. And then one of the other things was just going back to the basics, doing simple things like scheduling your calendar or, just little tools. Like even building an email list, like all these little things to just, back to basics, getting started, and just like being honest with yourself really was a big one too, which a lot of us have a hard time doing.
Oh yeah. No, I've had clients where I've told them, keep track of how much time you're on social media, because I know we all know, especially those of us who either run our own Facebook groups or are in masterminds that have our own Facebook groups. Of course, I'm in a few and I have my own. Yeah, it's a problem because then you get like sidetracked. I've been very good at it just because I don't really enjoy like browsing around social media that much, like not as much as some other people, I guess. But it's true. Like if you start to keep track of how much you actually do during the day and what you're doing, just like you said, like a diet journal, this is such a really important hack into seeing the truth. Like you just said, be honest with yourself about how you spend your time. Like, does it take you 4 hours to write one email? Like, okay, if so, then hire a copywriter.
Right. It shouldn't take you 4 hours. If it does, change it. Yeah. And I know one of my experts, Jennifer Dunham, I think it was, actually has like this super cool way to do it. Like I just tell people, be honest with how you're spending your time, but she actually has like a thing that actually helps you outline that process. Oh, like so that's really cool. But yeah, like I have a hard time staying away from Facebook because like some of my job is on Facebook. And I'm also like naturally the personality of like making connections. Like Jessica, who was watching, just said something about making connections, and everyone knows me as the person who connects other people too. So, yeah, so that's hard for me to stay on Facebook. And I actually, that was one of the conversations that I had with my experts was like, I always say, don't bring your phone to the bathroom. That's like the biggest way to save time. Because like, what are you really doing if you take your phone to the bathroom? You're like looking at it on the way to the bathroom, or you're like, you know, like trying to wash your hands, like doing whatever, like it's a waste of time. And she was like, actually, I disagree. If we're sitting on the toilet, like comment on an Instagram post or whatever. And so I was like, it's so funny because it's like, it's just be honest with how you're spending your time. Like if you're sitting in the bathroom on your phone, like, is it useful, or are you just like scrolling through Twitter? And like most of the time we're just scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah, no, it's true. I love, you know, what you just said about asking yourself, like, is this useful? Like the way, you know, I always think of everything as like time is money, right? Mm-hmm. Like, is this really a good return on my investment of time? You know, is this producing money somehow? And, you know, obviously not everything you do produces money, but, you know, again, if I'm going to spend 20 hours doing my QuickBooks when I could hire someone for $100 to do it, then why wouldn't I just hire someone?
Yeah.
Because I get paid more than that. And it's, exactly. You have to weigh everything, and, you know, like a house cleaner, like you said, like, which would cost more, me getting paid those hours or me hiring someone for those hours?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So true.
And you're also helping, like what I also tell people is, especially with like hiring a virtual assistant or like someone on your team, or even like people like cleaning houses. And not only are you giving up something that you don't like to do, you're allowing someone else to do something that they like to do, or for them to provide for their family. So like, it's really a win-win, honestly, because you're paying someone to do something and they're going to be doing something with the money that, you know, it's like, why stress out when you can help someone else and yourself at the same time?
Exactly. It's the cycle of the money.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Now I'm curious, did you ask people like what they struggle with the most, like when it comes to outsourcing, or, you know, people, I find a lot of people get very control-y, you know, like some of my clients, I'm like, look, hire someone to do that, hire someone for that. And they're like, but no one knows how to write my copy like I do, or, you know, like, or I don't trust anyone with my social media, you know, like.
Yeah, it did come up a couple times, actually, a few times during the interviews and a few times after the interview. And we joked about like recording the after the interviews, because we talked about some of that kind of stuff that no one really wants to talk about is, well, I'm afraid to hire someone because either I had a bad experience in the past, or I didn't feel like I got my money out of it, or I don't know who to hire or whatever. And part of it is knowing like what your zone of genius is. Mm-hmm. And there's tons of different personality profile tests out there if you're not really sure what your zone of genius is. And so you know what your zone of genius is. And then you got to outsource the rest, find the people that can fill in the blanks. So that's like a good place to start, because the biggest challenge is like just hiring someone that like your friend told you, oh, my VA helps me with this, or I have a marketing person that does this, or I have a salesperson or whatever, and you do what someone else is doing. Whereas sometimes you might be the best salesperson. That might be your personality type, and you might not need to outsource that. I once had a client who I was doing content for, and she did a little like self-reevaluation, and told me, hey, I actually really like doing my own content, so I don't need you anymore. And that's totally fine, because she realized like she wanted to do that and she wanted to hire someone else to do other stuff for her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's sometimes, and what I do tell people is sometimes you just have to start somewhere, finding someone, and then kind of, if you're like really unsure, and then figure it out from there. That has happened with me with like a bunch of my clients, that they either say like, hey, I think you would need this type of a person better on your team, and like maybe I'm not a good fit for you, or like, and it sometimes that comes out after working with someone. Unfortunately, like most contractors won't really tell you that.
Yeah.
So but it kind of really starts with the like, what are your strengths and what needs to fill in the blanks, and what you said too, like what is kind of a waste of your time for like the money you're making, like can you find someone on Fiverr, like that type of a thing. So it is a really hard thing to do, and I help, like I started off as a virtual assistant, so I have my VA friends are coming to me all the time, like asking me for advice on how to find the right clients, how to keep them. And then on the other hand, my former clients are like, hey, I don't really know, like should I hire this person, whatever, like. So it's kind of like filling in the gap is kind of what my role has kind of become now in that part. And so that's a long-winded answer to your question, but it comes up a lot, and it is one of the hardest things in business to figure out what you need.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just curious, is there one thing that you think is the most important that people start outsourcing right away?
That's really hard to say. I do think that you don't need to be checking the email. And that's like you said, like a lot of people have a hard time saying like, oh, I'm the only one who can do this the best way or whatever. That's wrong. That's just flat out wrong. There is someone who can do it like you do. And it's really hard because as business owners, I think you and I talked about this, that we are perfectionists, even if we're not, we're still recovering. There is a part of us that does have that personality type. So that's hard to relinquish the control, but someone can check your email for you. And we have an inbox labeling system that we use, and it's the best, absolute best way to communicate. And then like, you don't have to worry about like if you get an email notification, like sometimes I'll check it if it's like urgent or whatever, but otherwise my assistant just marks it, like categorizes it, and then I check it when I have time.
Yeah.
It saves so much time. But that I would say is the first thing, because it's like, you're not the only one who can check email. Like that's the easiest gap to jump over, is like, there's no way that you're the only one who knows how to check email. So that I would say is the first thing, like not necessarily the most required, because that part is going to be different. But if you're not sure, start there. And then if you've never hired someone before, my advice is to think of the most comfortable thing for you to give up. And one time someone said like the most comfortable, because they're hard to release control, the most comfortable thing was having someone else do their laundry. So that was the thing. And then after that, they hired someone else like as a project manager or whatever, but they needed to take that little step of hiring someone else to see what it was like and have that feeling. Because once you release control, it's such a huge weight off your shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's where I would start, honestly. And then, but it does take a little bit of work to figure out like what is right for you, and like knowing your personality type and who can fill in those gaps for you.
Yeah. So I laugh. I love hiring, delegating things out.
I know.
It comes very naturally to me, and that's what I used to do for a living back when I worked in corporate. I managed large teams of people in all different areas. So, mine's more like, wow, I'd love millions of dollars to just hire everybody to do everything and me just manage it all. Like that's the dream for me. But I know it's so funny. A lot of people have that hard time letting go.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard, especially when you've worked on your business so long and it's become yours. But one of my experts in the series, actually, Anthony Trex, said, if you cannot, like actually cannot give up certain parts of your business, like you don't have a business, you have a job.
Yeah.
And like, if you can't, if like it's stuff that someone else can't do, like if you have to do everything, then you're just doing a job that you do from your house. It's not a business. So that is like one of the next, and of course, at first you do have to do everything yourself to get started. But at some point you got to start giving it up. And if you physically actually can't, then you have a problem. So I thought that was very interesting to think about, because I was like, yep, at one point I did have just a job that I was doing from my house.
Yeah. Or a hobby even.
Yeah, a hobby that you happen to get a little cash for.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't invest the time and the money and into the growth, and there's an irony, you know, it's like everybody deals with this. Every entrepreneur, I just got off the phone with someone earlier today who's like, well, I'm trying to get it to this point, but I don't want to put the money into this and this and this and this. And I was like, well, you know, then you're going to be stagnant, right? If you don't really invest into growing it and invest into whatever the support is that you need, whether it's back end. I mean, to me, you need both. Like back end, you need someone to help guide you along the way. If you don't know what you're doing, you know, you need a little of everything. But if you're sitting there, and I remember struggling with this with, you know, my last business, like I knew how to write like code. I know a little bit about code. I know how to do some websites, but I knew very quickly, like if I got stuck on, you know, like my website was broken, if I couldn't fix it in 5 minutes, like I would hire someone right away. Like it's just not worth it. But it's amazing how many people are like, I've spent all day trying to fix this one thing on my website. And it's crazy because that's like a whole entire day's lost unless that's what you do for a living. Oh, is that your dog?
Yeah. Poppy, come here. Do you want to come say hi? Come here, baby.
Now we're going to get like 500 live viewers now. That
I know, because of how cute she is. Say hi, Poppy.
Oh, that's huge. Now that's the kind of assistant that everybody needs to grow your business.
Oh, yes. She is the biggest assistant ever. I think someone just came to the door. I live in a house with a bunch of people, so.
It's great. Hey, if you can run a business, put on an online summit, and manage your dog, and live with other people, and be able to do a Facebook Live with me on a Friday afternoon.
I know. Yeah, she's like...
It's so true. It's so
like
funny.
a child. I call her my 2-year-old because she's like, if I ignore her for like, I don't know, a certain amount of, maybe like more than an hour, she comes up.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, and right now she's just like straight up sitting in my lap. And like, you can't see my setup, but she's sitting behind my computer, just like staring at me and like,
see that.
So we'll go for a walk after this.
Yeah, when people say they can't run their business because they have no time or they can't do this and this, but you know what? If you're able to do all this work and take care of your dog and she's sitting there on your lap. But let me just ask one more quick thing before we go. So tell people where to find out more about your summit and how many more days does it run?
So this is actually really exciting. You can go to successformula.com, and Beth's link, I think, is in the comment. So click it. And we have actually all of the interviews are live right now. We're in the replay period. So you can watch everyone's interviews. The free gifts are amazing. I have a lot of the feedback that I've been getting is that the viewers not only love the interviews, but the free gifts are super awesome, which is true. They're all really great. And if anything, get those.
Yeah, I think, and I was saying, you know, I think it's really good that you're doing this because it's, you know, it's very like tangible. I'm sure it's, you know, people giving tangible specifics on what you could do to grow your online business, what you can actually outsource, how you can start thinking outside the box. Like we were talking about using little hacks like Chrome extensions and like every day there's something new that's out there to help us with our business. And so many people don't know about these things. It's crazy. So
exactly. Even I didn't know about some of it. Like what we talked about, the video thing. Yeah, like I knew you could do that, but I didn't know there was a Chrome extension. And then I just mentioned it and everyone was like, yeah, you didn't know? And I'm like, I didn't know about that. Of course I'm the last to know.
But it's so funny. I didn't know about, I just heard about Loom recently. Yeah. Through Holly, who probably learned it from you or something. But, but this is what's so amazing about it. But it's crazy. And then I talk about this Facebook Chrome extension. And I have so many, I actually have an extension. I don't know if it's an extension or program, but it basically shuts down your computer at a certain time every night. So I can't work till 2 a.m. So there's just so much out there. And there's so many these hacks that people don't know about. Like, even people in my own mastermind watch me and they're like, how do you know about this? I'm like, well, I used to work in tech, so I just know a lot of little hacky like things. But yeah, so everybody give this a watch. It will definitely help you, especially if you're growing, starting a business. It's very important to really invest in this from the beginning. It will make such a difference in your world. And really, it's all about investing into the growth and investing into, like she said, time is our most precious resource. It's not, it's not renewable.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being with us, Jenna, and your dog.
Say bye, Poppy.
Aw, how cute. Thank you so much. And everybody just be sure to click the link in today's video. And Jenna, we'll see you very soon. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay, bye.